Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our YouTube channel. So today we are going to make you understand how the 2030 agenda, Mnangagwa's gambit, how he will achieve it. I know the people like Nelson Chamisa have talked about it, and I'm going to play an audio for you. This is an audio tendera pa social media. This guy is actually addressing the issue ya Chamisa ne coalition yake na Chabangu. So it's a very interesting audio from a different perspective. So but how is Mnangagwa going to achieve this 2030? In the heart of Harare, a plan is actually unfolding that could redefine the political landscape of Zimbabwe. President Emerson Mnangagwa, known for his strategic acumen, appears to be setting the stage for an extended stay in power beyond the constitutional term limits set to end in 2028. So reports suggest that Mnangagwa, through a combination of legal maneuvers and backroom deals, aims to secure his presidency until at least 2030. The first step in the audacious plan involves a controversial amendment to the constitution. Sources close to the government reveal that a bill has been quietly drafted proposing the extension of presidential terms for 5 to 7 years, with an addition clause to potentially remove term limits altogether. The amendment, if passed, would require a 2/3 majority in parliament, a feat only achievable with the support of opposition parties. But gaining this support is not a small task. Here is where the narrative gets murky. Allegations have surfaced of dialogues, not with the legitimate leadership of opposition, but factions within that might be swayed by promises of power or financial benefits in opposition. So insiders claim that Mnangagwa's strategy includes offering ministerial position and development projects to opposition strongholds in exchange for their parliamentary votes. Critics argue that this is not just a political strategy but a manipulation of democratic process. So the so-called dialogue for national unity seems less about fostering democracy and more about ensuring a one-party dominance under the guise of progress. The use of state resources to influence even opposition members has raised alarm bells among civil society groups who fear a slide back into authoritarianism. They warn that such actions could destabilize the already fragile democratic gains of Zimbabwe. As the year 2025 unfolds, all eyes are on Harare. Will the citizens of Zimbabwe allow this extension to pass quietly into law, or will there be resistance? What's clear is that the coming months will be crucial in determining whether Zimbabwe's democratic journey continues or takes a detour into prolonged leadership. This has been a look into the 2030 agenda and a plan that could either stabilize or further divide a nation across at a crossroads. So this is what's going on right now, and things are about to change. So I want you to listen to the following audio. This is the audio I'm going to play for you, and listen very carefully and tell us what you think. Do you really think there's going to be elections in 2028? Do you see that coming? Tell us what you think in the comment section after listening to this.
Ana Chabangoro.
Yes,
Avunza zvenyukom.
Because it has make sense languages. Ndanditori rangu masubmission ari kuitwa pa, and I've got my comment regarding to that. Allow me a little bit of time because those that moda kuzondidimbura kuti mayeko. The first comment that I will pass is that bringing Chamisa's name into the Precade Farm is very mysterious, because this MP, they defied Chamisa and they went to parliament against this advice. If you recall, on the 25th of August, they blocked Nelson Chamisa on the premise that he is not an elected individual. And they went on to hold the parliamentary caucus, where Wende and Mafume and their team bullied the MP to go to parliament against Chamisa's advice. That is not in the public domain, but that is what happened. Their reasoning was that they must not listen to an individual, but to an institution, which is CCC. And they went on to the parliament on that basis. And it was all about themselves, and it was never about the citizens or the constitution or the institution itself. I will tell you reliably, with confidence, we had a meeting with two MPs. We called two MPs and we held a meeting with them. And we told them point blank that we were not happy with what they did, and they are continued to stay in the parliament because they were rubber stamping ZANU-PF policies and they were giving ZANU-PF legitimacy. They got angry and defended themselves through some funny justification. They were very angry and say, no, you need to understand that we'll be departing the arena of the struggle if we leave the parliament. That is where we engage with ZANU-PF. But we are like, you do not have a majority. You are just wasting your breath. And you are rubber stamping ZANU-PF policies and giving ZANU-PF legitimacy. This is what they are now being used for to justify 2030 agenda. So Chamisa resigned. And when he resigned, he issued 13-page statement. In that statement, there is no way that he announced that he appointed anyone to continue his mandate in the parliament or anywhere. And he clearly announced that you will return when he is ready and that you announce his return. So those that will now claim to speak for him, they are lies. So these MPs, they stayed on, the one that stayed on in his name. They are feigning fake loyalty. If they were loyal, they were supposed to leave the parliament with Fadzaima and Rafima. I say so because of that list that is being peddled around saying elected under Chamisa, pro-Chamisa. They are not pro-Chamisa. If they were pro-Chamisa, they were supposed to leave the parliament. But they stayed on. We do not trust them. We will never trust them. We will never embrace them ever. No matter how often they will appear and talk about unity, we are done with those MPs who stayed on and betrayed Nelson Chamisa in the name of preserving the constitutional and institutional values, which were fact. So, when we told you, but nobody wanted to listen. Because Kupe is a byproduct of regional politics that were fostered by workmen Nube's camp. They are the one who demanded their inclusion at the expense of the ailing Tabitha Kumalo. Their return was not endorsed by Nelson Chamisa. That's a lie. Kupe was forced on Chamisa by the same people that are handling Sengenzo Chabang. He has done it again, from nocturnal coup plotting meeting in Johannesburg with Christopher Mnangagwa to feeding the fish at Precade Farm and to this 2030 agenda endorsement. I can say Kupe has come to a full circle. And as opposition issues, because we tell you to Mnangagwa, but if you go ahead and endorse the very same person in the name of unity, fake unity. So, these guys are setting up a narrative, like I said in the last piece, that this is a 2030 agenda and the 130 state agenda. They are decimating the opposition. And on our watch, while we are busy debating here and analyzing and making analysis and taking no action, like what the Mozambicans are doing. This guy, Sengenzo Chabangu, is walking free in the street and no one touch him. How docile are we in Zimbabwe? Someone do conduct an atrocity on us in broad daylight, but the man is free to walk around and we do nothing. We even shake his hand and greet him. Chabangu, SG. We even dare call him SG when we meet him. Instead of giving him one baram clap, no one does that. The guy represents no one who elected Chabangu. He represents no one. He does not have a single constituency. And he's holding the MPs at ransom. And MPs out of their greed are capitulating because they are greedy. Right? Look at what happened today. The parliament itself is in violation of the constitution. Mudenda endorsed 2030 as who? The man is supposed to be a neutral Speaker of Parliament, but he stands on the podium and endorses 2030 agenda. The Speaker of Parliament, who is supposed to uphold the neutrality of the state institution, goes on and endorses a partisan program and call for 2030, going against the constitution of the nation on our watch, and all we can do is talk. How weak are we? The speaker must be removed for flouting the constitution and going beyond his mandate as a neutral. That guy must be removed. He ignored the party leader, Nelson Jamisa, and entertained an imposter. After losing the court case, the last court case, why is Chabangu still being entertained and why is Mudenda still in parliament? No one wants to challenge that. We're all talking. Precade meeting is a private event. We are meeting ET on his own personal capacity. I say so because there is no state protocol on a private property. It's a private property and there is no state protocol. So meeting ET at his own farm, you are now meeting him as a private individual called Emerson Mnangagwa. You need to learn to separate the president's office and the individual. Because the president's office is enshrined at the State House in the Monumutapa building. So if you go to say we are meeting the president at his own farm, which does not happen to be a state property, you are in violation and contravention of state protocols. That is unfortunate. So the president has got a parliament, he's got a state house to address the MP and government officials. If he really was sincere about meeting them, he was supposed to go to parliament and not to throw a package in the fake veneer of fake unity saying we are meeting at Zimbabwe at your farm. It's not a sanctioned venue. So he does not need to meet them at Precade. He was supposed to go to parliament. And the Precade meeting is a meeting of private individuals. It is an absolute waste of state resources. It's a violation. It's a constitutional violation and a total disregard of state protocol and its institutions. So Precade is an absolute waste of state resources. The farm is not a state property. It is an unsanctioned venue. So how do you observe protocol as someone's private property without getting expelled? That is why they were able to flaunt ZANU-PF regalia and chanting ZANU-PF slogan because it's a partisan program, and this does not justify him calling all the MP from across the political divide and saying it is a state program, a state event. It was not. So Precade alone is a ground of impeachment and removal of the Speaker of Parliament. The impeachment of the President and the removal of Speaker of Parliament, because it's a total violation of state protocols and total disregard of the citizens of Zimbabwe. So we as Zimbabweans, we have a duty to uphold our own constitution and demand accountability from these guys and say, this is not how we do things. Because you cannot challenge him on his own ground. So we need to start looking at what I said last time. Defiance. You cannot go along with everything. Civil disobedience is necessary. This is what we as Zimbabweans need to start looking at.